This video is brought to you by Raycon. He sounded miserable during the late 90s and early 2000s, and seems much more happy now. I suppose all's well that ends well.
Like that's ever gonna happen. What a load
Yeah, this is a video I was not hoping to make. For those who don't know, I did a big video essay about VeggieTales, its rise, its success, and ultimately its downfall. The video is called What Ruined VeggieTales, and I can say with certainty that that was one of the most important videos I've ever made. Its story, the sentimental value I hold for VeggieTales, realizing what happened to this show, how it was raked across the coals, how you have Phil Vischer, the creator of the show, like Icarus flying up to the sun and have his wings melt off and then just crash on the floor. It sucked. It was a brutal story, and if you want to know more, go watch the video yourself. But this video here is more of an epilogue, a very unfortunate epilogue. It has come to my attention, and I'm a little late with this information, that Phil Vischer and Mike Nowack, the original creators of VeggieTales, have been officially cut from the show completely. Like the entire franchise, they're gone. They used to be the voices of Bob and Larry. Not anymore. They are out completely. And that sucks. I mean, it sucks overall that Phil and Mike were the creators of this series, that they had it ripped away from their hands due to bankruptcy and other lawsuit stuff, and ultimately see their beloved creation in the hands of other companies just passing it along. DreamWorks, NBC Universal, that's the company that currently owns it. And they're the ones who are bringing the axe down on Phil and Mike. I really did end my VeggieTales video from before on a very hopeful note that, oh, here's the good thing. Phil and Mike, despite being removed from the creative aspect of VeggieTales, for like VeggieTales in the House, and the other one I can't remember that was on Netflix, well, they were brought back to the VeggieTales show. NBC Universal acquired, they bought VeggieTales, and they're like, well, let's bring back Phil and Mike. They're voicing right now for Bob and Larry. They've always been the voices, but let's see if they want to help to write, to direct, to be more involved in the creative process because they know what they're doing. They aren't just the voices of this series, they are the heart and soul. They are the ones that made VeggieTales more than just Christian content crap. And I can say on good authority, because I was born in that world, I was raised as a Christian, I was surrounded by Christian content, and here's the unbiased truth, it is typically not good. It's very low-hanging fruit. That's what got Eve in trouble. See, I can make Christian jokes, but VeggieTales was different. It was a trailblazer with 3D animation, simple but effective, and had really good characters and writing, utilizing Bible stories without becoming too preachy about it. It's like, oh, hey, God loves you, and there's the story of David and Goliath. Also, here's some funny jokes and great songs and fun characters. It was so benign that even secular audiences were like, hey, this is a fun show to watch. I had friends who were atheists, from atheist families, who were like, yeah, we love VeggieTales. Who gives a damn? It's fun to watch. And I'm like, that's the mark of quality. That VeggieTales is not just Christian garbage, it's more than that. And it can also say, hey, God loves you. And most folks are like, that's innocent enough, no big deal. By the way, the VeggieTales fandom has been delightful. Love you guys. I'm really sorry about how things have turned out. But yes, it's just a bummer to see this decline of Phil and Mike and Lisa Vischer, who is like the wife of Phil. She's the voice of Junior. All these folks who were part of the original brain trust of VeggieTales have been removed completely. And apparently it's happened years ago for most of the team. And then Phil and Mike were the last holdouts, apparently. And then they were cut. And there's now a new VeggieTales podcast on Spotify. I'm not promoting it. Don't listen to it, actually. I listen to the voices and I'm like, oh, that's an imitation. I don't know if I really care for that. And then it just hits me where the ugly truth of the matter is that Phil and Mike and the rest of the team had such oomph when it came to writing and knowing the characters and doing more than just Christian garbage. And now that this show is completely in the hands of NBC Universal and that they've been stripped of it, I don't really see any salvation for VeggieTales. I really don't. So by the way, like I said, I ended my VeggieTales video from before on a hopeful note. I was saying that Phil and Mike, they're involved in this new iteration called the VeggieTales Show, a return to form for the writing, the characters, even the animation and the character designs, okay? This old stuff, behind us. Let's go back to the classic stuff. That's what worked. And it looked like, wow, this actually might go the distance. Trinity Broadcast Network, TBN, they're gonna stream it, have it on their TV channel. It's not like the most accessible thing. Like folks are like, what's TBN? Here's the truth of VeggieTales. It's pretty niche. It is Christian content. And I know a lot of folks know about the God-fearing vegetables and whatnot. Technically, they're fruits. But they're not going to go out of their way, most likely, to get TBN. And that was always a question to me, is distribution. Distribution. Who's going to host this stuff? It was originally on Netflix, but that didn't do so hot. So is it distribution? Is it the content itself? Okay, Phil and Mike are back temporarily. Now is it a question of distribution? Maybe so, because the show was going to be on TBN, on their website, on TV, and then it was taken away from TBN and put on some other streaming service called Yippee, which you have to pay for, subscription-based. It's not as much as Disney Plus, so why even pay for that? What's the point? You're not getting enough content out of it. It's not worth the purchase. I mean, VeggieTales is great, not $8 a month great, no sir. And I think that is what killed the momentum and the hope for VeggieTales, is that it just tanked at that point. And then Phil and Mike and everybody else were removed. And as far as I can tell, I think the series is concluded, like that generation. And now it's like the VeggieTales podcast, which Phil and Mike are not a part of. Nobody from the old guard are involved. So yeah, they're out completely. They had this creation. They tried to make it work. They got very close. They lost so much money, bankruptcy, lawsuits, go to courts, had their precious IP bought from some other company, then passed along, and then ultimately removed from the entire series. The end. I gotta say that it's better to die a martyr than to find yourself being the villain. And I know that sounds weird. I do wonder if Phil and Mike, if let's say they had full autonomy over VeggieTales, let's say they had full creative control, could they make it work on a wide successful level? I think maybe, if they were the ones creating it completely, and they were the ones who had access of distribution, like on Netflix or something, then maybe it could succeed. Maybe on YouTube too. But the truth of the matter, and this is a hard pill to swallow, is that VeggieTales might just be from a bygone age, where it's like it had its moment in the sun, and now it will never recapture its height of success. It will just exist as an IP and be passed around. And it's better for Phil and Mike to say, hey, we fought hard for it. We did our best. We were removed from the equation, but at least we maintained our integrity to the best of our ability. Instead of torpedoing their creation by their own hands, like they always tried. And I'd say that's much more preferred for me watching their actions than them saying, let's just get sleazy with it. Larry the Cucumber is now really veiny. Oh, why did I say that? Larry, let's just cash it in. Let's lowest common denominator. Let's get desperate. They never got desperate. They held their heads high, and I respect that. So ultimately, it might be a blessing in disguise that Mike and Phil can step away from all of this and say, the chapter's over. We're moving on with their own stuff. And Phil and Mike, they're just doing their own thing. I got a podcast. The Dead Sea Scrolls or the Dead Sea Otter Scrolls or something like that. But ultimately, it sucks because to see corporate entities just ruin everything, to fire people, to rip it apart, to not understand what makes something successful when you have the creators literally right there. They're just tone deaf. And to the VeggieTales fandom, hey guys, I'm pouring one out for you. I'm really sorry. But hey, at least we have the old memories, the old content, and we can still support Phil and Mike and see where they go next. But this is a very bitter pill to swallow to see the what ruined VeggieTales video be. No, it is ruined. And hey, I might eat crow here. Maybe in the future they're like, wha-bam, it's back and it's wonderful. It's a huge hit. That could happen. I severely doubt it, especially without Phil and Mike. So yeah, it's heartbreaking, but it is what it is. If you want to go support Phil and Mike, they have their socials, and I suppose we'll just have to see what's next for VeggieTales. I am going to make a video here in the near future about Christian animation in its entirety. I'm going to bring the hammer down on that because the reason why so many folks care about VeggieTales is because it is the exception in the ocean of trash that is Christian content. It's usually pandering, it's dumb, it's just looking for the easiest targets to pander to people and appeal to them, while VeggieTales was charming, smart, clever, and could do the Bible stuff, and that's a rare combo, especially in Christian animation. So, VeggieTales, Bob and Larry, a salute to you. Maybe they'll get a Sausage Party, sequel themselves. I shouldn't talk anymore. So a quick shout out to this video sponsor, Raycon. I've been using these things for like almost 3 years now. It's funny how time flies like that. And I gotta say, I love them. I never had wireless earbuds before, then I got my Raycons and I have never looked back. I use them every single day. At the gym, while going for walks, while doing chores around the house, while listening to music, to YouTube videos, talking to friends on Discord, listening to audiobooks. I use them every single day. And right now, Raycon's everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. They have these optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit. So the earbuds are comfortable, but they will not budge, trust me. Look at my head, it's going crazy, and these things are staying in there. Also, they offer 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life with the case. Also, I'm a big fan that you have these earbud tap functions. Like, I'm at the gym, and I'm like, oh, I can't pause. My phone's being stupid. I gotta pause this song. Oh, click on the earbud, song is paused. Boom. Also, you got this noise isolation feature and awareness mode, and I'm here for that. So all in all, I highly recommend Raycon earbuds. Click the link in the description down below and go to buyraycon.com/Saberspark to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. Go check them out today.